Tell us quite a terrible report from the Auditor General, from 40 to 38. We are doing badly. What is the problem?
The problems are so enormous in local government. One of the problems is our inability to work collaboratively, to work as a single unit, because government is a single unit, irrespective that is local or is province or is national. How do we then work together as a government in responding to that? That's one issue. The second issue is that what we need to do as government, and that is why we went to political parties in 2021 and said to them, coming to 2021 local government elections, we are requesting you few basic things. One, give us people that can add value, if you want to call it add value, in the system, so that you give this responsibility to people that you trust, that they've got prerequisite skill and capacity, so that they can drive the program of change. We can only succeed, Sis Sophia, which this is our discussion between ourselves and the National Treasurer and the Auditor General. We need to hold one another's hand for us to go through these stormy conditions. It requires leaders to navigate under these difficulties together in addressing the challenges that we are facing. Yes, we are aware of moving from 41 to 38. It requires us to tighten ourselves. And that is why in our NSA, we said, let us use mass program. Mass program is an intervention program that we assist municipalities to drive down the usage of consultants and build the internal capacity so that municipalities can be accountable for their finances that they've been given.
Cities, particularly metros, are in a worse situation since the introduction of local government. The issue of coalitions, political instability. I mean, a city like Johannesburg, the largest city on the continent, with the highest GDP that surpasses even some countries. A terrible situation there on metros, particularly looking at Gauteng, which is supposed to be the face of the country because Johannesburg is the largest city on the continent.
So, Sophie, it's very sad. And this it's not because we haven't anticipated it. As SALGA, we learn from time immemorial that as we move towards the future, we are going to see collisions. And that is why we commission a study on collision, working together with Dollar Oma Institute and University of Cape Town. Then we came up with a framework, and then we presented that framework to all political parties to say, avoiding collision, this is what you need to do. Because in the manner in which we are handling collision issues, we are retarding the progress of local government, and we are putting strain to citizens that are looking into local government to help. And like, for instance, we are making an example, and we are brutally frank on these discussions, that leadership, you can't have a mayor at 8 and you have a different mayor at 12. Now,
with no capacity, with no skills.
And this is the issue that we have been raising to the leadership that are contesting elections in the political parties in trying to drive this issue. But I'm happy. I must say now I'm happy. At least I've heard that the Deputy President of the Republic in Parliament, part of his response to questions when he was asked by members of Parliament, he then said, members of Parliament must go and study the SALGA's framework on collision. And we are happy, and we are still working with cooperative governance now, trying to put some measures using the framework so that we manage the issues of collision going into the future. And I believe if everyone can put their hands together and in facing the issue that we are facing on collision, we can go through this difficulty and patch that we are facing.
Thank you for your time. The message from SALGA is clear. Political parties must take responsibility in terms of the chaos that we see in cities, particularly in the metros. The issue of coalitions, where political parties took a decision not to deploy people with capacity, with skills, and with political commitment to changing the lives of ordinary people at this whole phase of government or governance. Back to you in studio.